Sioux Falls. Shannon Austin here with some street construction updates. We have a lot going on around the city right now, so stay tuned for your latest project updates. So our first project update today is at the corner of 41st Street and Minnesota Avenue. Our project manager, Carrie, is going to tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, we're just improving traffic operations here at the intersection of 41st and Minnesota. We're adding a dedicated right turn lane on 41st Street for eastbound turning south onto Minnesota Avenue.
So that lane right now, it's shared with the through. So if you wanted to go through, you kind of race the guy next to you if he decides to go through, don't you?
Yep, it was not a great lineup now. So we're going to have just one dedicated through lane and one dedicated right turn lane.
So it's a pretty small project. Is there other work going on in the intersection?
We also were updating ADA ramps, and we also had to update the signals with this project, make it wider to account for that extra turn lane.
Okay.
So other than the ADA ramps and some updated pedestrian push buttons, that's pretty much it for this intersection.
So are there any other intersection improvements that you're working on this summer?
Yeah, we're also going to be putting in a turn lane at 37th. So that'll be for westbound 37th Street onto northbound Minnesota Avenue by the fire station.
Oh, right by the fire station there. And so the need for that one was the same thing. We're just, I suppose maybe with Hy-Vee going in there, we have a lot of those right turners.
Yep, trying to prevent those traffic backups and let those right turners have their own lane to get through.
Okay, is there going to be any impacts to Minnesota Avenue travel for that project?
There will be a lane closure for northbound Minnesota at 37th when that time comes, which will probably be in the next month. They'll head over that direction after they're done building this turn lane.
So both projects, fully complete by when?
I would say by August.
Okay.
Yeah, they should be done by August.
So it's interesting that such a small little addition of just a turn lane could improve and go so fast and improve the operations at an intersection.
Absolutely, it'll make a big difference.
So any other is there a pedestrian detour en route for either of the projects, or are pedestrians allowed to go all the way through the intersection?
Right now at 41st Street, you're not allowed to go through the intersection. We have detours set up. 37th Street, you are allowed right now, and that'll change also when we're working over there.
Okay. So I think we're going to, Troy Miller from our traffic shop is going to talk to a little bit about traffic signal timings.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, so now we're actually standing next to the 41st Street and Minnesota Avenue traffic signal controller cabinet. And we welcome to the show Troy Miller from our traffic engineering folks. So Troy, what do you got going on here?
So right now with the construction going on at 41st in Minnesota, we've got normally we've got our adaptive traffic signal system up. We've got an adaptive corridor on 41st Street and on Minnesota Avenue.
Okay.
Right now, just this intersection itself is offline. The rest of the system is running as normal. So with that being offline, our detection's not working here, so we're just running strictly pre-timed right now.
So for our citizens who don't necessarily know what adaptive is, what's the definition of the adaptive traffic signal system?
Our adaptive system uses cameras, and it's able to make changes on a cycle-by-cycle basis to try to maximize our throughput on the main lines and then minimize delay on our side streets as well.
So it's almost like a real-time versus a pre-timed, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's almost as if somebody was out here changing cycle times to make it as efficient as possible.
Okay. So then in comparison to pre-times, pre-times we must have data that we pre-time it then, right?
Yeah, pre-time we look at existing volumes and our turning movement counts to try to match our green times to what's happening in the field.
Okay. So is this a pretty normal activity for you to come out and, as the project managers change the lane configuration, you get to go in this big silver box and play around a little bit?
Yeah, and we always appreciate the public letting us know if something needs adjustments. We can't be out there all the time at every intersection looking at what needs to be done. So any feedback we get, we try to act on it as quickly as we can.
So if I was a citizen, how would be the best way to reach you and let you know that a traffic signal isn't working or that this lane needs more green time?
So you could put in what we call like a C-click fix through the One Sioux Falls app, or just call into the engineering office and ask for traffic, and they'll get you to the right place.
All right, well, very good information. City of Sioux Falls, if you have concerns about traffic signals, do just what Troy told you to do. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks, Shannon.
Our next stop is on 57th Street between Minnesota Avenue and Western Avenue. And this particular project certainly impacts about 15 to about 18,000 drivers a day. We welcome to the show Tim, our project manager. Tim, there's a lot of stuff going on. What's going on directly behind us right here?
Right here, we are cutting down the grade of the road between Bachelor Lane and Georgetown the River condos due to a sight distance issue for a lot of the residents around here. Turning out of their driveways and turning out of the condos seem to be an issue. So we're going to cut the road down a couple of feet here and rebuild it.
Excellent. So the overall project, though, is mainly just comprised of an overlay, or what are we doing?
Yeah, most of the project's going to be an overlay here. We're doing spot curb and gutter repairs, some minor utility improvements. For the most part, yes, nothing's going to change for the most part as far as the width of the road or anything else. It's just going to be mainly a mill and overlay project.
Well, I drove on this during our COVID time, and oh my goodness, it was quite bumpy. So this will be a welcome addition to the neighborhood, as well as our commuters. So we don't have sidewalks right now on the south side of 57th Street, and I know we have some hills that not a lot of pedestrians can get to, but are we adding sidewalks?
Yes, we'll be including sidewalks along the entire south side of the road, the whole length of the project.
So that'll be another welcome addition.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so the project doesn't impact the actual intersections of 57th and Western and Minnesota, do they?
No, the project will go just to the west of Minnesota and then stop short east of Western Avenue also.
Okay, but this right now it's one lane in each direction. Is that going to be pretty typical for the remainder of the summer?
One lane each direction on the south side, correct now. Eventually, when this phase 1 is completed, that'll switch over to the south side. One lane each direction there, and then there's another phase where basically the center lane will be closed for a period of time. So yes, it'll be one lane each direction for the majority of the summer. We're looking at completion in October.
Okay, so we'll probably pretty much be the rest of the summer then.
Yes, yes. We'll have the road open to traffic here in October.
All right, well, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the project? How have the neighbors been?
The neighborhood's been wonderful. No major concerns. I think everyone's happy to see improvements being done to this road.
Yeah.
Should be a welcome addition to all the travelers that come down this area.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much for your update.
Thank you.
Well, we are now out on the south side of the city of Sioux Falls on Highway 115, otherwise known as Minnesota Avenue, between 85th Street and Highway 106. Now, this project seems like it has been going on forever, but it's only been a year. Travis Dresser from the DOT, what are we working on this year?
Right, so this year, and it was originally scheduled as a 2-year project. So last year we got up just short of 106, Highway 106, starting at Highway 110. So that was finished last year, so work picked up again just south of 106, and we're moving up to 85th Street. So
was 115 actually open to traffic over the wintertime?
It was, yes. Yeah, so south of 106, and the intersection of 106 was open. There was some grading work that took place late last fall and into the early winter while conditions allowed. So we were able to take advantage of some good weather last year.
Yeah, so last year, this time last year we were so wet, but the contractor certainly made up a lot of segue to get into this last segment then, didn't he?
Right, yeah, this project wasn't quite affected as much, so like I said, we did have an opportunity to start on phase 2, which really gave us a good jump start for this year.
Okay, so for our viewers who haven't been south of town lately, what is the ultimate section going to look like?
So this will be a 4-lane divided section with a raised concrete median in the middle.
Okay.
There will be full access openings every quarter mile in those median breaks. We'll have a signalized intersection on Highway 110, which used to be a 2-way stop before.
Okay.
Also new signal system at the intersection of 106. There will be a shared use path on the east side of the road. So the city of Harrisburg right now is in the process of building a shared use path along Willow Street. So after this year, that will be a continuous connection all the way from Harrisburg to Sioux Falls on that shared use path.
Oh, that'll be really welcomed, because I know a lot of our bicycling community really wants that connection.
Right.
So will there also be shoulders on Minnesota Avenue?
So yeah, 8-foot shoulders along Minnesota Avenue as well. So 2 lanes in each direction with the 8-foot shoulders, curb and gutter on the outside.
So the DOT, similar to the city of Sioux Falls, we like those median sections. So kind of remind our viewers why medians are so important on streets like this.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right off the top is safety. I mean, really what we're trying to do is restrict those left turn movements, get those organized into common intersections, allow the U-turn at the median openings. It gives traffic a refuge to be in that turn lane to see the approaching vehicles before they make that U-turn. So we know that those are safer conditions. There's also benefit in preventing the potential of head-on crashes. So there is some benefit there as well. It won't necessarily prevent them, but certainly reduces that potential.
Right. So the DOT is always so great on using new and innovative technologies in their construction projects. Is there anything new with this project or any innovative technologies?
You know, I think one of the things that we've really been trying to do with the rising cost of materials is utilize the in-place materials and try to incorporate them back into the job. You know, to kind of take that eco-friendly approach to our construction projects. So all of the existing roadway has been crushed, it's reprocessed and used as gravel cushion out here, so it really reduces the amount of new material that we need for the job.
Excellent, excellent. So what's the overall construction time frame? When can our drivers actually be out here driving on it?
Right, so our completion date to get the road open to traffic is September 11th of this year. The contractor anticipates being able to meet that schedule, and then we have an overall completion date in November. So once the roadway is open, we'll still be working on things like lighting, still be working on the shared use path, some cleanup and things like that, some pavement marking. So that's the work that will take place after September.
Will there be streetlights going all the way down to Harrisburg?
Yep, it'll be fully lit all the way along here, so that will be a nice enhancement as well.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll probably be back in maybe a month or so, and we'll start seeing some curb and gutter?
Yeah, I think so. We should be starting paving operations next week, actually.
Wonderful.
So things are coming along nicely. One of the things drivers will see is we'll be closing the intersection of 106 starting on June 17th.
Okay.
We expect that to be closed for about 3 weeks. So our detour is 69th Street over to Louise Avenue, down to 106 to I-29, and then south.
Okay, so that is coming up then.
Yep,
All
June
right.
17th.
All right, well, great. Thank you so much for your time,
All right.
and we will see you on Veterans Parkway.
Sounds good. Thank you, Shannon.
So we thought we'd swing by 26th and Southeastern on our way back out to Veterans Parkway. Dina, we just can't drive by without talking to you. So we haven't really given much attention to the project on Southeastern Avenue. So the contractor has started working. A lot of work going on Southeastern. What's going on?
So Southeastern Avenue, north of 26th Street. Obviously the portion just north of 26th Street will be raised, just looking like we did south of 26th Street last year. So that will look very much the same. But as you continue north, we're expanding up there as well to 4 lanes all the way up to almost 18th Street.
So it will be 4 lanes and from 26th Street all the way to 18th Street, and I'm sure that commuters will certainly appreciate those extra lanes.
Yes, it'll be a great improvement.
So will there be sidewalks on both sides of the street?
We'll have sidewalks just on the east side of Southeastern Avenue. We were unable to put it on the west side due to the railroad right-of-way being right next to Southeastern Avenue.
Okay.
So it'll just be on the east side of the road.
Okay. So when you look down on the corridor, there certainly has been a lot of trees removed on the north segment. Did we try to save any?
We tried to save as much as we could. I know we removed quite a bit that's closer to the intersection of 26th Street, only because we've got that big retaining wall that's coming in, and the bridge will be elevated and widened and all that stuff. But as we move north, yeah, we did remove some, but we kept quite a few that's closer to the railroad track than to Southeastern Avenue. Provides a little bit of a buffer.
Okay. So then, again, by the intersection of 18th Street and Southeastern, there's some really big storm drainage pipes. Are those I assume are going into the project area? There's that much storm drainage that actually goes through the corridor?
Surprisingly, yes. And those culverts are there today, same size. So just everybody drives over the top and everybody sees them. So, but yeah, they'll just be replacing what's there today.
Okay. So a lot of storm drainage. And then the other day that I was driving on Cleveland, which would be to the north of 26th Street, and I noticed that we had removed a lot of trees there, dug out looks like a detention pond. Does that kind of work along with this system in Southeastern?
Yes, that's correct. So that detention basin there off of Cleveland Avenue collects from a huge area off to the east. And so our plan is to grab that, detain it, slow that water down, and then slowly release it back through. So it'll travel under Southeastern Avenue.
Very well. So it's a big elaborate system then.
It is.
So I'm going to jump us over to the Southeastern. So how has the open street on Southeastern been received? Have you heard lots of positive comments?
I have not heard a lot of positive comments, but I know it really does help traffic flow to get a portion of Southeastern Avenue opened back up.
Right. So the other day when I was driving on it, of course, a lot of trees were removed between the bike trail and the street. And I think you have some good news to tell us on that.
Yes, yes. We did bid out a contract to plant additional trees. So I think we've got about 60 some trees that will be planted there. We've opened it up for the contractor to either they can start planting this year or finish next spring. Just depending on the species of trees and the quantity that we had, it was difficult for him to get a hold of them this year. So it may sneak into next year.
But certainly going to be a welcome addition for all of those users that use that bike trail.
Yes,
Very,
yes.
very well. Okay, so then let's jump back up to the overpass. The contractor's working on the demo, is that right?
Yes, yeah. Right now they're working on demoing the old bridge that was over the railroad, or over the river.
Okay, so really not much happening now, because now we're going to be on that new bridge and we can wave at the trains as they go by.
That's right, that's right.
So no traffic changes in the upcoming month?
No, the traffic that is the pattern that's there today will be here for quite a while.
Okay, well great. Well, thanks so much for your very informative update today.
Thank you.
All right, our last update is, of course, on another one of my favorite projects, Veterans Parkway from Interstate 90 down to Rice Street. And Travis, it looks like we finally have it's starting to look like a bridge now.
Right, things are starting to come together out here. There's actually been quite a bit of progress since the last time you were out. So
Good.
A lot of the substructure work is nearing completion. We're getting ready to start setting girders out here probably in the next week or so.
So this is a really long bridge, right? Remind our viewers again how long the bridge is.
Yeah, just under 1,000 feet. So both structures. So there's a separate northbound and southbound structures.
Okay, so that's pretty, and then there's a separation in between them, right?
That's right, yes.
So how come we had that separation in between
Well, I think
them?
it's really a cost-saving measure. So,
Okay.
we really didn't need to add more structure width just to accommodate a median on the bridge. So they're two separate bridges.
Okay, so the overall project, certainly was slowed down last year with all of the rain, but it's been moving along quite well. I see there's actually some fresh concrete up on the main line, right?
Right, yeah. So this spring has been really good. I mean, it's a vast improvement over what we saw in 2018 and 2019, so we're thankful for that. So yeah, all the mainline paving is done out here, all the turn lanes, the curb and gutter, except for the tie-ins at the bridges. So really able to get a lot of that work done early in the spring this year, which is nice.
Okay, so what's happening on 60th Street North then?
So 60th Street, the structure over Slip Up Creek is done.
Okay.
And we've just started asphalt paving on 60th Street. So mainly focusing our paving efforts on the west side of the bridge. Haven't started on the east side yet to tie into Veterans Parkway.
Okay, so as a driver that goes both on Interstate 90 as well on Rice Street, I just want to drive on it, but
Right.
but you're not going to open up anything until the actual bridge gets done, right?
Yeah, I think right now the efforts are focused on getting the structure done, getting the bridge deck on it, and I think as the project comes together, we'll see how things look to the north of here, whether or not that makes sense to open up 60th Street early.
Okay, so we're standing right nearby the old timberline structure. So will that stay or that'll come out, or what's the plan for the structure?
Yeah, so the existing timberline bridge is a removal item as part of this contract, so that will be coming out with the job probably towards the end of this project, once we have access over the river and the new deck is on.
Okay.
So I would guess that's going to be one of the last things to be done.
So then just kind of a preview of what that final section will look like. So the Western Area Power Company, which sits on the top of the hill, a lot of people don't even know what's up there, but they have an access down to Timberline. How will they get access to their property?
Right, so they'll now have a direct access off of Veterans Parkway.
Okay.
We need to accommodate access to them. They bring in a lot of heavy equipment, a lot of large transformers and things like that that come on semis, obviously. So we will have a drive over median that they'll be able to access instead of having to make a U-turn with those extra long loads.
Oh, so we were quite accommodating them.
Right.
Yeah, very good. So is all of the work finished going to the north of Interstate 90?
So north of Interstate 90, yeah, really the bulk of the work at the interchange is done. There still remain some minor items to address. The bridge painting's not done. We still need to do some pavement markings and things like that. So there still will be some work at the interchange. As far as traffic control on I-90, I think there will be some short-term lane closures there, but nothing like it has been through the 2019 construction season.
Okay, wonderful. So do you want to give us some good news on maybe when we're opening?
Yeah, I think based on the schedule that we have, as of today, we're hoping to have it open by December of this year. So that's very promising.
Yes.
We'll see how things play out. Things
Yeah.
can change, of course.
Right.
But so far, our weather's been very cooperative. Things have just been starting to come together out here.
So when they work on a structure like this, I mean, if we do happen to get a lot of rain through the remainder of the summer, being as they're working up high, will the weather impact that as
Right.
much?
Really shouldn't affect that work a whole lot.
Okay.
You know, that was the trouble with the substructure units right here in the river, particularly Pier 3 behind us. Being in the Big Sioux River, prone to flooding, it made conditions very difficult down there on
Right.
Pier 3. So,
Well, good news. Well, let's hope we can take our Santa sleigh across that bridge
yeah,
at Christmas time.
We're looking forward to it.
Very good. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon.
Well, that does it, Sioux Falls. As you can see, we are well into our construction season. Remember to go to our website at siouxfalls.org for any of these project updates, as well as anything going on in the city. You can certainly find a lot of information there on our website. Until next time, see you on the streets.
The City of Sioux Falls has an easy way for you to help your community. Simply download the City of Sioux Falls mobile app. The app can be used to ask a question or to report a variety of nuisances like potholes, graffiti, streetlights not working, abandoned vehicles, and more. You can even upload a photo with your report. Every report is immediately routed to the appropriate team so they can quickly respond. In addition to tracking your reports, the app allows you to view reports submitted by other users and learn when they've been resolved. Go to the App Store or Google Play stores and download the City of Sioux Falls app today.